do.
Time's up.
What did you expect? Welcome, Sonny. Make yourself at home. Marry my daughter. You've got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land. The common clay of the New West. You know. Morons.
Hey, boys. Look what I got here.
Hey, where are the white women at? Excuse me while I whip this out.
Are you ready to talk hard?
Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to Talk Hard. I am Pops, and with me, as always, is Ironcaster and Stone Loki. Ironcaster, my friend, how are you doing?
Oh, I am doing pretty good. This was a treat to watch.
It is certainly one of my top 10 comedies of all time. It doesn't age badly, even one iota. Stone Loki, the master of mischief himself. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, especially after that intro, man. I was laughing my ass off. Pops, you're one in a million, brother.
I have a good time playing. I will say I have got to figure out the next step for me will be figuring out how to get videos like in their system and then do the faces. And sometimes it will move the mouths too, which is great. That's even better. So it's a little tricky to get used to. Sometimes some weeks will be better than others, but yeah, that was a fun one. I have to be honest. We'll just mute it if it copyright flags itself because Loki's segment was a rather long one, but I couldn't resist, man. I had to go for it. So, wow. Blazing Saddles, gentlemen. I tell you what, if nothing else, I found a person who had never seen it. So just the fact that we decided to do this and whatever, it gave me an excuse to talk because people ask me, what do you do on your show? Blah, blah, blah. And went, well, I've never watched that. And it's a young person. It's a millennial person. And I'm like, well, you are literally missing out on one of the greatest comedies of all time. And I talked about how uncomfortable it made people feel then, how uncomfortable it makes people feel now. It's almost like, I don't say it's blacklisted, but I don't know that is it TV worthy. I mean, what do we do with a film like this to get it out there? I don't even know.
I don't think you can on TV anymore. I don't think this would be on cable. I'm surprised you can even find it on a streaming service.
The TV edit is about 5 minutes long.
Oh, and be honest, this is the beauty of 70s and 80s filmmaking, because most of the time these classics are because of one person's vision fighting the studio system. When they screened this for the executives at Warner Brothers, pin drop, they didn't want to release it. No, we're not doing it. They had their list of complaints. Mel Brooks asked for to screen it to the employees of the WB. Screens it at the WB, which of course explodes with laughter. Everyone loves this movie. Of course, everybody sees dollar signs. They asked for a few edits. I think the story went. I read this in one of the books, and it was like he walked in an elevator. Someone else said, I don't really like it. I wish you'd change this and this and this. And he was like, okay, yeah. With the intention of changing nothing, because he had 100% control of his film. He had no responsibility to change a darn thing. And praise the Lord, thank goodness he did not. And we get this classic film. All right, guess you were going to say something.
There was one change I had heard that I think
Okay.
Mel Brooks even like cut out, where Bart is with our
Lily?
female lead.
Yeah, Lily. The Lily scene did get modified, but I heard they put it
Yeah.
back. There's like I think it's on the Blu-ray version, or I don't know. I don't know, but there is a little minor edit on that scene of yes, it's true, and yeah, you're sucking on my arm. That kind of joke was kind of modified a little bit, but I
think
don't.
he says something like, "That's my knee."
Yeah. Hail to the chat, Chris Persia, the Pops mod, the go to himself. How are you doing, Chris? Thanks for hanging out here with us, my friend. Love having you. Castle's already here. Awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. A Soul Assassin. I remember seeing Blazing Saddles in a cable channel a few days ago, but definitely a film that won't be made today. Oh, my friend, that is beyond true. I would love to know, like, what is the cable edits even like? How much do they trim out, or is it just a lot of word replacement? I don't know what they leave in, what they don't leave in. Maybe it's just a sacred cow. They don't mess with it too much. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, this is one of those that definitely not going to be made today. Not going to be made today.
You know, you mentioned showing it to some fresh eyes, and what was the reception to it from that? Because
this person trusts my judgment. I've I want to say coached them enough, or given them enough suggestions that they trust my judgment. They do know I'm a little harder than they are as a critic, so they'll like more than I even will, right? So for me to come out and say this is one of the greatest comedies of all time, it's so rewatchable. Prepare to be a little bit offended and uncomfortable, because it was then, and it will be even more so now. But you're going to laugh, and it was designed to do that. And then I explained, do you know who Richard Pryor is? Okay, yes, you do. Okay, so then he co-wrote it, so you know how his approach was. Imagine that in a Western. And Mel Brooks, they knew who Mel Brooks was. Spaceballs, they liked. It was an easy sell at that point. Yeah.
What Pops is saying is absolutely right. I watched this. So I myself watched this with someone who had not seen it, had never seen it, and had no idea that Mel Brooks was involved with a movie. I don't want to say like this, but a movie of this era. Mm-hmm. And they had seen Spaceballs, so they got that. They know who Richard Pryor is, like you said. And there was holy crap, I can't believe they just said that, but it's funny. Mm-hmm. And there's laughs. So there's like shock, like how the hell did they get away with this? Well, it's the 70s. I mean, they got away with whatever the hell they wanted to.
Yeah, and I because really, other than Dave Chappelle, no one has dared to push the envelope like this. Like, this is literally just crazy. And to think it was in 1974, so to think about the culture of 1973, and they were going to go this far in your face, and Richard Pryor's approach, and the only reason I guess he didn't get the job right is because they knew how much of a cokehead he was, and they weren't quite sure he'd be able to. They work with him or what. The studio was like they wanted someone different. And when my wife and I were talking about it, she's like, I really couldn't see him in the role. I mean, I love him and Gene Wilder together, but Cleavon Little is like so much of a straight man. Like that scene that I put Loki's face on, the famous moron speech. He didn't know that was the joke, or he didn't know that was so. His reaction is a legit reaction, evidently, and I think that's brilliant. So the fact that they didn't get Richard Pryor, I think, helps the film in a lot of ways. Even though I think he's fantastic, and yeah. So
it would certainly be an interesting take on it to see that road, the road that could have been, the version of this movie that could have been if Richard Pryor had gotten to be in it.
Yep. Soul Assassin, yes, the 70s and the 80s. What a time. We could not agree more. We will be spinning our wheels here, I think, a lot more than most eras, to be honest. So, well, let's jump right to it. There will be some starts and stops, folks. We'll see how I do. I have to talk over some of the scenes, obviously. We pick up the story here in the West, working on the railroad. I'm braver
than I doing this. Yeah, you got the audio on, right? I mean, it's just like,
well, it's muted, but yeah, we're going to play some audio, though. We got to find some spots. We'll find some spots. We'll be all right. Yeah, this is the scene where they're being told they should, quit being so downtrodden. You should sing. I thought you guys sang when you worked, right? You're basically the chain gang, right? And they basically dupe the white cowboy ignorant boobs into singing for them. and they basically start dancing around, doing camp town races and all that kind of shenanigan. And these guys are like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So it's a good little back and forth. Man, oh man, I'm already having trouble. With pausing. There we go. Okay. All right. I have to stop for a second. It's not one to pause. Like that's my fear. My fear is I'm going to get flagged not because I'm going to do wrong, but because it's like my stupid.
Because you like it too much and you want to keep watching it.
Well,
they obliterated.
What?
Oh, that I was just going to say they obliterated Heiress of Chaos's Saturday stream because of little clips. Lord of the Rings, 3.5 hours out of 4 hours claimed. Wow, absolute insanity. That's Amazon being absolute.
I gotta say that's probably them trying to shut down a possible negative review or something like that. But they're really strict on the clips. It is sort of a 7 to 11 second thing. You can kind of get maybe a second or two in there. I was telling Ironcaster about how like last week on Johnny Dangerously, the first one we ran a little long on, so I just kind of clipped out a couple seconds. And then it got flagged again for the next one. That one, we talked over it. I paused it a couple times. I don't think any of the audio played until the very end. And I just disputed that. All is fair use. So we'll see what they do. I'm probably just going to make some clips out of Johnny Dangerously and release some clips in case the fight continues or whatever, because it's just going to be crazy. And Dean Krantz hopped in here. Hey, Dean, hope you're doing well. So yes, the great juxtaposition here of, the stereotype of the chain gangs and, singing, camp town races and all that. You get to dupe the white guys into doing that. And it is just really, hysterical. That kind of nonsense here.
The movie does not hesitate to pull any punches with all the just with the sort of tension of the scene and the language used. They're quick to lean right into all that.
That is for sure, and quite an understatement, to be perfectly honest. It is insane. And then, of course, Slim Pickens rolls up. It's like, what are y'all doing? They're dancing around like fools, which is absolutely brilliant. Like, just literally, like the guy that when you watch this scene, folks, just look at the secondary actors, right? Because obviously the guys in the front are well lit or whatever, but like this guy in the white shirt just has his hands up, walks in a circle. There's a guy in the background. He's like flipping his legs up and everything. I know there's only a few cast members that we could even ask, but I'd love to know some of the stories. Like, what on earth? Who are some of these guys? Are they actual extras? Is this like a producer or so? I don't know. So, shenanigans are afoot before Slim Pickens comes in there, and giving them what's for. And next, it's all just there's N bombs galore for those of you who don't know. Before they basically get sent off to head out to go down the track, and they end up into the quicksand and all that. So here's Slim Pickens. He drops. I think he drops more of the N bombs than anyone else. And Slim said he had a hard time doing it because he liked Cleavon little, as though that was an excuse. I remember reading that in this. I forget which book it was. Anyway, I love this sort of like behind the scenes Hollywood nonsense. Anyway,
I actually liked him, so I didn't like saying that. Well, would you have liked saying that if you didn't like him?
Correct. That was my point too. Like, wait a minute, is it okay if you didn't like him? Like, so anyway, so the story, they basically rescue the hand car, and he's like, see, they're still stuck in the quicksand, and it's like, that's a $400 hand car we almost lost. So that's how that played down. And then, of course, when they get out, Cleavon Little's character Bart takes a shovel to the back of Slim Pickens' head. So that's what happens there, folks, before we cut over. Yep, here we go. We're going to see old Bart's going to go for it. He's being told not to. Can't end well. Doesn't end well. So then we're going to cut to town. Shenanigans are afoot because of quicksand. This is right outside of come on now. There we go. There's Hedy Lamar, and he's doing his thing and executing people. This guy's in a wheelchair with the hunchback here executing people. It's just the shenanigans are nuts. His name is Boris.
Yeah. The optics of like hanging a guy in a wheelchair is already funny enough.
Yeah. And they just kind of keep going for it. Like, it just keeps getting more and more absurd. Slim Pickens comes in, starts reporting to to Hetty about the ridiculous diaper bandage thing he has on his head. And it's only in this one scene. The bandage is gone afterwards, but he took the shovel to the head, of course. So yeah, the shenanigans are afoot as he learns about all this, finds out about the quicksand. So therefore, they're going to have to run the railroad through Rock Ridge. So we got to figure out how to get the real estate in Rock Ridge super cheap. So that's their scheme. We need to get them we'll get them a sheriff, and their chemistry is really just insane. Like the little nuances when you watch them together, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I just like when Slim would always be standing within like 3 inches of him for the next line and stuff like that. It's subtle, but God, it's done really, really well.
We'll work up a number 6 on them.
Yeah.
Number 6. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that one. Well, that's where we go riding through into town. A whomping and a whooping. Every living thing that moves within an inch of his life.
Yep. Yes. And there's like awkward hugs and whatever. It's so insane. Let's see here. Let's jump a little further. They cut to the saloon. There's just cows walking around. The set is just crazy.
And
Dean
in the chat nails it. Best line from Harvey, too Jewish, when he's talking about we'll sacrifice the first sons of the firstborn sons of the town. Too Jewish? Too Jewish.
Yes. Yeah. Look, Dean. Don't ruin my jokes. So, by the way, they used the leftover set was repurposed from Westworld, the movie version.
Really?
Oh,
it's all in the cheap back then, guys. You guys are gonna remember, man. If we could save $1, they're like, well, we just did this Western. Yeah. So, a lot of the sets and stuff like that, and dude, I remember seeing this when the first time I saw this. I thought of just the shenanigans of what they do in Rock Ridge, and nothing works. Like their tactics are just not going to work, and it's insane. So then we cut to the townspeople. Everyone's named Johnson. All of them.
Johnson, and Johnson.
Yes.
Well, Howard Johnson is right.
Yeah. Sporky news. Hey, man. Great for popping in. Yes. We're going to, well, we don't need any stinking badges.
We don't need no stinking badges.
Yes. I need to make a clip like that of Ocean Breeze. Yes. So we have to come up with a plan of what to do. They're going to demand a sheriff. That's their solution. That's the conflict that's set up is they need the real, Hedy Lamarr wants the property cheap. And townspeople are like, we got to do something. Make him give us a sheriff. And so Hetty comes up with a scheme to send a black sheriff. Here's their nonsense and cutaways. So let's keep moving because the good stuff doesn't come until much later. We got to keep moving through the quick setups here. Here's the crazy gibberish guy. He has some great moments as well, by the way. All right. We turn. Subtitles are on, so I'll let it go first. Oh, yeah, we have to cut to the. So, Mel Brooks' first role is as the governor, and it says GOV on his jacket. And here's Hedy Lamarr trying to get him to sign all the paperwork here. You got to do this, you got to do that, and we're going to send them a sheriff. We're going to get his real estate. Here's all the different things. And
who doesn't want a secretary like that? I
know, she's just barely in it, and you wonder, like, just because they all are just so. They know how to play every element of straight and funny and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Anyway,
when Pop says she's barely in it, he means she's barely in it.
Yeah, if she the outtakes. I mean, she probably just she could sneeze or cough her way out of that. Oh boys, look what I got here. Yes. Let's see. Atwood is here. Hey there, how you doing? And the crazy frontier guy. Was Mel Brooks. Governor was second role. Oh, that's Mel Brooks too, the gibberish guy? Oh. I knew he played the chief, obviously, the Indian. Okay. Barely in it. Yes, literally. Yes, barely in it. Yeah, she is barely in it. And he just plays the absolute boob.
Work. Hello, boys. Have a good night's rest. Miss you.
That's the best. How does it not? How does it not just stop?
How is this? This is the.
Oh, went a little long there, didn't I? All right, we'll see.
Little bounce. I love just the extra little touch of him just bouncing in the chair the whole time he's doing that.
Yeah, it's so silly and nuts. Obviously, with his Spaceball roles and other stuff he does, he really just loves that over the top, dumb, fun. Yeah, I love it. It's just great. So Hetty convinces him to appoint a new sheriff, and then we're going to find the most offensive thing we can, and he's okay with it. So here he is scheming, having his mints as he's thinking of all of his different ideas and different plans. So they rescue a black sheriff from hanging. Let me see if I can get the hanging shot, because that was actually kind of pretty funny. I think it may have been... Where was the hanging shot? Oh, must have been the earlier scene, right?
The second hanging, that is?
Yes. Where there's a horse. That's the sequel where the horse is in the news. I don't think that's it. I think we're still having... This is when he's passing out paddleballs. The paddleball joke still just... does that date well for people? Like, do they get the paddleball thing? Like paddleball was an actual thing when I was a kid, and like none of us could really do paddleball. It was like dumb. And all you did was play with it until the ball shot off and broke, and then you basically gave your mom a weapon to basically pop you with if you got too out of control. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. You could... Oh, yeah. Mom got that for punishment for you.
And I love the shot. Like, it's such a cliche spoof parody of where we are with giving Cleavon Little his little sheriff moment. The music's playing, the lights are playing. So silly. Just everything about it.
Super. Yeah, it's all super classy. Like the music, he's showing up with like the full Gucci gear on.
Yes.
He's proud of himself. He's a sheriff. He's like, nobody can touch me. I'm the bee's knees, boys. I'm the head of the class.
And he is. So cough. Yeah. Enough. It is. And yes, hello, boys. Yes. It's good to be the governor. It is indeed good to be the governor. Yes. A friend of my kids were playing with him again. Okay. Well, hey, they make a comeback. Okay. Sure, I got that taken down.
So it's old as new again.
All right, so he's going to ride into town. And here we go. So gibberish guy, you guys telling me that's Mel Brooks on the gibberish guy? I don't know. I don't think so. One of you guys, I'll have to look it up. Verify gibberish guy is Mel Brooks. I didn't think so. Anyway, so sheriff's coming in.
It is.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I know he plays the chief. So he's doing all the stuff. They can't hear. The gibberish guy is saying that he's the N-word, and he comes rolling up there and he stops mid-sentence, of course. Just the over-the-top shenanigans are off the chart. The little flag rolls up. It's so insane. And of course, they ultimately, this was the clip. Let me back up. This was the clip that I played with here, the famous line.
Jack Starrett played Gabby Johnson.
All right. Gabby Johnson. They're all Johnson. I forget how they're all Johnson. That's part of the gag. Is they all have to be Johnson. Oh. And it's funny because we used to have like a radio show, like one of those, I don't know, maybe it may even been like Sports Talk or something like that. And they always had this, like, it's one of their little sound bites they play regularly was the, excuse me while I whip this out. And it would just always get me. Yeah. Everyone's going to be cocked and loaded and aimed at him. And he comes up with the best solution imaginable is, take yourself hostage.
Everyone's pointing a gun at him, even himself.
Yep.
Trust no one, not even yourself.
It's so good. It's so over the top and good. Look at his facial expressions and stuff. He's just doing great. And he's like, and he talks to himself in like just this most insane language. Like, if you don't behave, the N-word's getting it. He just keeps going, and just basically just walks off screen. Just walks off screen. So they're basically, and here's where we can see all the Johnsons' names in the background. You know, BC Johnson, OH Johnson, HK Johnson, whatever. So the governor gets blamed, not Hetty. So, yeah. So yeah, this is a crazy lady giving her speech, and every little nuance, right? So she plays it up as though she doesn't know how to speak well. So when she talks, then she starts screaming. And those gibberish guy makes it to the front row, by the way. It's great.
Yeah. Every little frontier town had to have the gibberish guy.
Yep, that's true. And then we have to cut to the best. So Waco the kid. He's waking up.
Yes, we are. Then we're awake. But we're very puzzled.
Because he's like, a black sheriff? Holy cow. So, yep. So we have their little moments of understanding the backstory or whatever. Oh, this is him boozing it. Just throwing it down, man. Throwing it down. Then they, he says, what do you like to do? And it's play chess and screw. He's like, all right, well, I guess we're going to stick to chess. Let's
play chess.
Let's play chess. It's all played so beautifully. Gene Wilder is just a rock star, man. Just a rock star. I don't even say. Yeah. Gucci saddlebags. Yep, that was one of the gags. Yep. That's true. Let's see, Atwood. I just wanted to stop by. Thank you, Atwood. I appreciate it very much. Appreciate you just hanging out. Thank you so much.
So I'm on Robin Hilton's IMDb. That is the actress that played
Secretary.
The secretary, right?
Yeah.
And it says trademark. She is known for her large natural breasts.
Oh my gosh, the 70s, man. The 70s and the 80s.
I mean, I didn't know. I mean, this is IMDb. I'm just like, wow.
It's right. It's out there. It's out there like that. Like she's just good. She's just good that way. So that's all.
Own it.
Hey, Gap's here, by the way, just in time to hear us talk about the secretary's boobs. So yeah. Yes, that's.
I mean,
awesome.
really, we could just do a whole show on nothing but those.
Well, I mean, it's really what we all want to see, and there's going to be more coming soon. This was really a funny scene.
Is a rock.
Yeah, but I shoot with this hand.
None of that is true, by the way, because he shoots right-handed the entire movie. So great.
That's the thing I really appreciate, is because it's like any chance they had to kind of work in a joke. It's so well written, this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So backstory, he's talking about, everybody wants to come after him and draw on him and stuff like that. All this stuff is like right out of history too, because this was like a big issue. It's like people who like talk about being a gunfighter in the Old West and all this glory of it all. It's like, you understand, everybody would just kill each other. Like there was just like, you'd be in the can, you'd be sleeping, and this was like so the shtick is, right, so a 6-year-old pulls on him. He turns around. Of course, he's like, as a 6-year-old, he almost kills a 6-year-old. Of course, a 6-year-old shoots him in the keister. So he's been drinking ever since.
Shot me in the ears.
Yeah. So then it's like, well, what's your story, Bart? And Bart's story is a flashback to an Indian attack, and the black folks are in the wagon way behind. They are circling the wagon. They did their own circle because they weren't part of the group. And the engines show up, led by Mel Brooks. There he is. Speaking just gibberish nonsense, which is always good. I always approve.
No, seid nicht mit Sugar.
Zekish Meshuga.
This guy working a little bit of the Jewish.
It's the best. It doesn't get old. And so it's like it just cuts right back, and Waco kid's asleep.
Always like to keep my audience riveted.
He's asleep, sound asleep. So We have to cut and move on to possibly one of the most talked about scenes in the entire movie. All right. So let me pause it here. We have to do it. Looky, where's the line? Isn't that what we're all trying to figure out? Like, where's the line? Right. Hey, Scott Westbrook, see you popping in there. Gap says boobies. This is an epic movie, and then I think he's leaving. And I'm like, okay, maybe not. Zax is here. Hey, Zax. Okay, let's do it. You guys made it just in time. We have to do something. Listen, if I get a copyright strike, I get a copyright strike. You're here. Let's just try. Let's see what happens. Where's the line? Where's the line? Oh my gosh!
Someone's been baking brownies.
So what I read was, I actually read this. It was one of those nuggets that gets stuck in my brain, and I'm like, I got to fact check it to make sure I got it right.
Ooh, I don't know if that's the best choice of words after all the.
What did I say?
Nuggets.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. I had to fact check that this was true, and evidently Mel Brooks, he grabbed someone else walking by, but he did most of the ADR for the fart sounds. That's freaking great. That's a GOAT move right there. You're gonna do a movie, gonna have the fart scene, you're gonna go for it. I'm using my own farts. That's beast mode, guys. I'm sorry. I have to call it what it is. Mel Brooks' stock just keeps rising for me, man. Yep.
I believe
Castle's
they called
all
it
about it.
incorporating audible flatulence.
Yeah. Sporks, I think, bailing out. Hey, Spork. Hey, no problem, man. Take care.
I want that to be my job title, the flatulence technician.
I don't know if I don't know. Anyway, so they're going to move over to Mondo now. We get our first. So we have Mongo involved.
Holy shit!
Oh, well, come on now. Why is it not pausing? There we go. Okay, so Mongo. So Mongo, he's basically like, this beast of a human who's, the brain of like a 5-year-old, right? So there's Mongo. Mongo's going to be brought in to go down, and he's going to come after the sheriff. Let's see. Shaving. There's all sorts of little voice gags and things like that they do back and forth. The chemistry is just amazing. And he's basically just telling him, listen, you're not going to be able to win these people over. He's not on the street for more than 2 seconds. And one lady uses the N-bomb to him. And this is the speech that I put Loki in. You're welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
Make yourself at home. Marry my daughter. You've got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land.
It's funny how when I watched this scene, and then of course I did this clip, right? So I played the scene a couple of times. I thought to myself, man, Mel Brooks is really telling on Hollywood of how they think of people. And this scene does not age well for them now, because this is how we feel. This is what we know they now feel about us if we don't live according to their, political beliefs and everything like that. So at least that's how I took it.
Common clay of the New West. Morons.
That's so great. Because evidently he didn't know. I don't know exactly the timing or how the line was set up, but yeah, evidently the reaction was real. So anyway, Mongo's coming to town. Chaos is breaking out.
I think Mongo's got to be my favorite part of this movie overall. Just
a thing of the past.
Never mind that shit.
Hang on. Let me turn that off. Mongo, for those of you at home, just a reminder, Mongo is so great. That's Alex Karras. He's a football player, but that's Webster's dad, man. Webster's dad is rocking the Mongo role. That's freaking great to me. I love it. Soul Assassin. So this is why Brooks is one of the best directors. That's just another feather in his cap, man. Have you looked up Lay? Oh, the Lay Domain in Wikipedia? No, I have not. I'm not sure I should now. I should be warned, huh, Scott? Okay. We'll have to see. Maybe someone can do that for me. How shenanigans that will bring. Anyway, Mongo is showing up. They're like, well, how you gonna deal with this guy? So his solution is to basically do a full-on Looney Tunes move and basically do the box of candies.
Telegram from Mongo.
Yeah, I'm gonna get just a little. See if we can do just a little.
Candygram for Mongo. Candygram for Mongo. Candygram for Mongo.
That's so funny.
Sign, please.
Come on now. All right, there we go. And of course, it's a trick box. It blows up.
Be still, Taggart.
Meanwhile,
My mind is a raging torrent.
look at the shenanigans. Like, so you have to think to yourself too, like, I would love to have heard Slim Pickens talk about this role and doing it with Harvey. Like, there's little like rubber duckies in the scene. Obviously, he asked for Froggy, the little frog. And it's like just the shenanigans and try to keep a straight face. And by the way, we're really lucky that there was not a clip like this available for me to put our faces in. This was one that I wanted so bad, and I could not find one. But I would love to have this. That's just so great.
Okay, in this scene, you're gonna be scrubbing down Harvey Korman in a bathtub.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. What is he? What's he talking about? What's he talking about? What? His rubber frog? What? Yeah.
Yes, you have to make sure you give him the right the right bathtub toy.
Do I? Is there anything in particular that I have to do in the scene? I mean, it seems like I don't really do a whole lot, right? Or what do I have to do?
Oh no! This is the best part. All you have to do is just scrub his back.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to do anything else? Oh, wait.
No.
Might have to scrub his front.
I have to reach inside and grab. Oh, I have to grab his. Oh. Huh. How much am I getting paid for this?
Well, you see, Harvey Korman's a method actor, so you're gonna actually have to.
Oh. I guess I'll know if he's really Jewish or not.
Creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. There's part of me that just wants to make, shirts that just say $20. Like some sort of Blazing Saddles logo or whatever. So yeah. Okay, let's. Chris says it's funny that Hollywood went from thinking the flyover states were simple-minded, that liked flatulence gags, to anyone that doesn't sniff their own being simple-minded. Oh, the irony. Oh yes, Chris. Yes, indeed. It is indeed ironic and insulting. So yeah, Slim Pickens has to going in for the grab. Let's see, we have to move just a shade ahead. I'm probably gonna go past it because.
Where's my froggy? Where's my froggy?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's coming. Oh, I played this again today because I watched it. I always like watching them again the day of we're going to do this. And I saw this scene, and I think I watched it twice because I just kept thinking about what we were doing. It's like, think about Slim Pickens. Look at this. Like, this was not. Look at the soap splashes on his face in the scene, like Harvey Korman splashes. He goes in for the grab. That's not it.
Nope.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Oh, it's so good. Oh, the shenanigans. And I will say, I just love the fearlessness of acting back then. This is why I love the Carol Burnett show. Carol Burnett seemed like one of those things that seems like it should be dated, but when I watch it, the fearlessness comes through. Like, I love the fearlessness. And I will say, this is one of the reasons I usually defend Will Ferrell, even if his movies are crazy crap and horrible. He's a fearless comedian that will do all sorts of insane things thinking that he can get a gag. And there's something that should be respected if you're a comedian, that you'll at least go there. Anyway,
about a week or two ago, I sat down and I went to go rewatch I was watching a sketch of I think it might have been from Carol Burnett with Tim Conway and Harvey Korman, where they're doing this dentist bit.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was cracking up in my seat here. This stuff is still funny.
Yeah, it aged perfectly. If you just want to gag, I'm telling you what, even YouTube has some of these gags. The other thing I do really enjoy too, and it is also because I love the wholesomeness of it. There were little hints of messaging, and that is the I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy is just brilliant comedic elements, and with like these little wholesome messages worked in. Just, I don't know. This stuff is timeless for a reason, guys. Timeless for a reason. All right, so then we get Lily. Hetty comes in here to see Lily. Lily is his little secret weapon who can seduce anybody. So she's going to be brought in to get her hands on Bart. And the shenanigans are afoot. He's always just so over the top, liking her. Of course, she just, gosh, she's just so over the top. It's just brilliant. This is her musical sequence for the bar. I don't know that I say anything is the weakest part, but this Madeline Kahn sequence doesn't work as well for me as other parts. I mean, it's funny because I get where they're going with it all, but it's like, okay.
Yeah, I gotta concur with you there. It's the part this little section with her doing this and then trying to seduce Bart just really is kind of weak for me, just because it doesn't have the same amount of like kind of comedic consistency to it that the rest of the movie does.
I didn't think that we needed to have the musical sequence and stuff to get her seducing Bart gag. Like, I thought the Bart gag was set up pretty well. It's like an excuse to show all these different things, make reference to her German, that kind of stuff. So we kind of get there. So this is when Bart comes in. Bart's playing super chill. He's totally down with her. It's like, I'm going to get me that white woman. Lights go out. The gag is shut for a minute. Hetty can't look away, right? So Hetty has to come in, and it's like, he tries to cop a feel. Which, by the way, there was a clip. You're both welcome. There was a clip available. I just want to let you guys know. I didn't do it to anyone else. So, just saying. I love you guys. Lately. Yeah. Yes. And the way that he worked in the German Salt Force, I don't know. Yeah, it just seemed like that was the only, if there was any criticism of all in it's woo. Yes.
And I think part of that is just kind of the part of the leaning into the German joke comes from the Mel Brooks being Jewish. It feels pretty forced for some of this.
Yes, I paused there on purpose. So this was the scene that did right before this when the lights go out. This is the scene that Ironcaster were speaking of. Did have some editing done to it. Brooks did take that out or make a modification there. I looked it up though. I did hear or saw that it was put back. So I don't know which versions it has been in or not. But that was a little bit more of the crassness that was actually in there at some point or another. But of course he's not going to leave it alone. Like, he pulls out his Schützengruben. Right here. He's Mr. Suave. Obviously, he's taking care of her. She's very happy with him. Doesn't want to see him go. She's so much of a man, shall we say? And he's made her very, very happy. Meanwhile, shenanigans are still afoot, and Mongo, they throw water on and wake him up, and he wakes right up and just bursts right out of the chains. And it's funny because they'll say these open-ended things trying to figure out something to go on. Mongo just tells them straight up. He knows everything. It's just, again, it's like the play and the subtleties of the humor is just done perfectly.
Mongo just pawn in Game of Life.
Yes.
Okay, Mongo. You're free to go.
Mongo no go.
Oh, come on.
Mongo likes the sheriff because the sheriff's, So, yeah, I love Mongo. Alex Karras, man.
Maybe why is a high roller like Hedley Lamar interested in Rock Ridge?
All right, so, and Mongo just answers right away. He knows all the different elements, even though it doesn't seem like it would be. So what he would know, he pours everything out. So they go on a research to the train tracks where the chain gang's working, headed towards Rock Ridge. They figure out that's where it's going, so they work their way out there. He meets his buds, So Bart's got his friends, and he's like a rock star because he's got on his nice studs. He's got his star on. So
Got his fancy tin star.
Yeah. Meanwhile, these two knuckleheads, they think that they're going to talk some smack. Yeah, let's play it. Let's let Slim speak for himself.
That nigger wouldn't hit me on the head with a shovel.
Oh boy. Well, I missed one. All right, we'll see how it goes.
You were doing that tin star, boy. What?
Yeah. All right. Well, so
So
much
to
for
be
this
fair, with this movie, it's also kind of hard to avoid that with everything.
Yeah. Oh, come on, pause now. There we go. So they're calling this out, and Waco, the kid, of course, he's known as now being a drunk. That the days of actually being an outlaw and being respectable and all of that are kind of behind him. So yeah, there's that. So Mags is here. Mags, hey Mags, Mongo straight. Yes, Mongo is straight because they do make a gag about he loves the sheriff too much. So yes.
You know,
and Eric
what's
O'Sullivan.
funny?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I think it's just great because Mongo's like no, me not gay, me straight basically. And Keely Chow's here, so hey Keely Chow, and Jacob Ironside as well. So people just keep rolling here. And oh, hang on, we got another person here. Desiree. All right, Desiree. Let's see. Twitch party. You think Amazon will let you panel type watch party like you're doing here? I don't know. We just do what we do.
Well, I mean, with Amazon, you can do the watch party stuff, so you couldn't essentially just do the commentary tracks, and you should, in theory, be able to do that. Just everyone has to have the Prime membership.
Yep. Dean Krantz stole my thunder. I was getting ready to point this out. There we go. They're full on Alec Baldwin. Hammers her down. Not cocked at all. So, they know what they're doing. Yeah. Let me mute this. Make sure I at least try to do something to keep my copyright going.
I was gonna say the boy thing. You hear him throughout this movie, boy and son, and you don't really know until you've been away from the South for a little while. Like
right.
I moved out of Texas, moved to Missouri, then moved back, and when you talk to law enforcement, they still do that to this day. So when you start laughing at law enforcement and they're like, "What do you think's so funny, boy?" and you go, "It's just I've been gone for like 4 years and I've never been called son and boy so much in like all those years than I have today." Thank you. It's heartwarming. It's like I'm back home.
Yeah, this movie. Oh, the only thing I could think of that kind of has that element that works so well as this one does, like what you're saying, Loki, is the Smokey and the Bandit movies. It's a similar approach, right?
Yes.
They just kind of really hit the nail on the head with that portrayal. And everyone in chat talking about the watch party options through Prime and things like that. So, yeah. All right. So anyway, shoots them all away, and now they're really frustrated. Like, what are we gonna do now? The plan's gone askew. She's all about like, that Bart. He's a bigger man than any of you guys there ever be. Oh, the best. Oh, I have to find a way to get a little bit of this. I'm not sure we're going to get much of it, but we'll see what we can figure out. So they have to have their plan. What do you want me to do, sir?
I want you to round up every vicious criminal and gunslinger in the West. Take this down. I want rustlers, cutthroats, murderers, bounty hunters, desperados, mugs, pugs, thugs, nitwits, half.
Come on, pause. There we go.
Every single one, every single badnik you can think of.
It's the best. I love it so much. It just keeps going, right? It's like, half-wits and dim-wits and vipers and snipers and horse thieves and hog-wallers and bank robbers and muggers. It's like, oh gosh, it's so good. Oh goodness. Harvey Korman. Look at that, man. He is just a genius in delivering. Anyway, Slim Pickens can't get the pen out. He doesn't. He said, "Can you repeat that, sir?" Like, it just never ends. Just any like you said, Eric, any chance to at least get a little smirk. Even if you're going to have a belly laugh, we're going to have something. So anyway, this is the poster that goes out to apply to work for the situation there. Hey, Lamar, and it's equal opportunity employer. So this is what we get.
We may be villains, but at least we're equal opportunity villains.
Yep.
All right, Sheriff. 24.
Sheriff wants 24 hours to figure out a plan. And this is them registering all of the shenanigans that they were talking about advertising. They have everybody lined up. Biker gangs. There's your Mexicans. Yeah, it's just off the chain. So good. Oh, this is the one that says he likes rape. Yeah, I know. It's just so crazy. It's so insane. They'd get away with all this. Oh, that's right. The gum. Okay, hang on. So he's chewing gum and gets called about that. So is that, yes, Dean's got it. Is that gum you're chewing? Everyone in the West, he wants West to think, all right, so here we go. Come on.
Online, eh? I hope you brought enough for everybody.
I didn't know there was gonna be so many.
It's so insane. He's so strict, Bart says. Yes. So here's their plan of attack. Sorry, this was the clip that we showed in the beginning. Let me get the sound off. All right, they got to have a plan, and this was what, you know. Hey boys, there's our ticket.
I got it, Cunny.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Smiley.
Hey, boys.
Oh my gosh.
What I got here?
Oh, so insane. Oh god, so insane. I just can't believe they did it. This is a famous soundbite.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I can't tell you how many times that was played on a sports channel or something in the radio. Yeah. All right. Oh crap! It's going too long.
Oh no!
Stop! I stopped it. I think. Okay. Hopefully we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll come right back. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. I got to get it to stop. It just kept playing, so we'll see.
Eric O'Sullivan asked, does this version have Bart and Wacko singing Walking on the Water in the river baptism scene?
I don't know.
I don't remember that scene.
No, I don't think so. Not in this version. Yeah, I don't remember what version that's in, Eric. I've seen it once. I don't know if it's on my DVD version. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not in this version. I can tell you that. So let me try to pull it back. Oh, it's so fun to kind of go through a movie like this. How do I check and see if it's been flagged, Loki? Do you know?
I was just kind of checking the live feed, so seems like we're okay.
You go into your YouTube studio, and it should tell you, but you might not get a notification for another 30 minutes, another 45 minutes, unless you get a big flag for playing it live.
Yeah.
You won't know for probably another 30, 45 minutes.
We don't need no stinking budget.
There we go. Had to play that. It's the famous line.
Qualifications.
Come on.
Feeding cattle. That's not much of a crime.
Oh, jeez.
To Congress?
I tell you what, it's just not cooperating. Oh, so frustrating. Badges?
That's it.
We don't need no stinking badges. Go ahead.
Of course, we gotta have our villains like doing all the nasty bad Nick stuff, but
oh, it's so good. So anyway, obviously they're in disguise. Bart ultimately sticks his hand out. He's obviously been revealed. The mask is off. They start making a run for it. Slim Pickens yells in his ear like, "I'll cut him off at the pass." And there's a little mild chase scene or whatever. Then they kind of come up with their plan. He goes and gets the chain gang to meet him up because he's going to get the entire town together, and they're basically going to make a fake version of the town. And they're going to get the help of the chain gang as long as they can have some land to live on. And we didn't really talk about the preacher. The preacher does have these crazy shenanigans moments as well, where he's always like saying and praying at the wrong time and all that kind of stuff. And the joke here is like, we're okay with everybody except for the Irishmen. Finally, the Irishmen are included too. So then they basically start constructing the fake place.
yeah, we only got to make the front of the town. It's not like we have to actually build the insides.
Right. No, they're all studio fronts. It's like so funny to think that Brooks got this to play off like this. It's so great. So we have all of the shenanigans. You'll be risking, my Academy Award. It's so crazy. The problem is they forgot about putting people there, so they have to figure out how to make fake people. So they're running around doing that, and meanwhile, Bart and Waco, the kid, come up with a plan. They use Mongo to help them. They basically put up a fake toll booth right in the middle of the desert. Yes, it's a Mel Brooks movie. It will work in a Mel Brooks movie.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they have? Wasn't there something just as equally ridiculous in the Kenobi show about an easily
go
move
around? That's a very, very true point. Very, very true. There is a sort of a laser fence. And there's an aerial. The problem with the show was they made an aerial shot, and it shows how easy it is to walk around. Like it just shows how fast and how fast they got to the scene. They kind of like don't realize they derailed the entire point. Anyway, and then he kind of looks at it like he's doing whatever, and it's just so stupid. Everything about that show. Yeah. Yes, Eric. Eric's quoting the line from the earlier shot. We'll take the blacks and the Chinese. We won't take the Irish. Yes. Do that voodoo, you do so well. Okay. And somebody's got to go back and get a bunch of dimes. That's the shot we're at right now. Yes. Dave Bob. Yes, Dave Bob's quoting it as well. Yes. That is where we're at. That is where it is. So yeah, listen, I'm all right. Let's just let her ride. Let's do it.
Now, what'll that asshole think of next? Has anybody got a dime?
Yeah, you got to go back and get one.
Somebody's got to go back and get a shitload of dimes.
Come on.
And that'll be a good job to hold them off for a while, but we got to keep on some time. Too bad we can't we can't just go full Looney Tunes with this, even though, movie's done it a few times already.
Yeah. Anyway, so it works for a little while. And they make it to the city. They realize that they're going to be figured out because they're hooping and hollering in the town, and they're making their way. And anyway, it doesn't work. So he goes to make the shot. Of course, I mentioned the preacher. They finally turn on him like, you need to just shut up, man. So he shuts off the dynamite, creates chaos. Everybody runs in and starts fighting. So townspeople have everything. People have sticks and mallets and all sorts of stuff fighting all of the outlaws. Mongo's in there punching. Waco's punching. Oh, accidentally punches the sheriff. Chaos ensues. And we pull back on the studio lot. So here's the Warner Brothers. It's showing that we're actually on the studio lot. And meanwhile, we cut to the inside where someone messes up a musical dance sequence directed by Dom DeLuise.
Is that Dom DeLuise?
Yes, it is Dom DeLuise.
Watch me. It's so simple. You
Isn't
sissy
it
Marys.
great? Sissy
Give
Marys.
me the playback.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, it's in there. So, yes, so the Sissy Marys.
Wait till I get out. Wait till I get out.
He yells action, and they're going to do their thing.
Playback.
All right, we kind of move forward. Basically, the fight on the outside moves in on the set. They hit him. Shenanigans are breaking out. Oh, yeah, I got to cut there. So yeah. Okay, so before, pause.
Can you just hit spacebar?
No, well, no, it doesn't seem to work with Voodoo. I tried that first, and that was not working. So anyway, there's a shot where the cowboy goes after the one dancer, and then they kind of go through a little thing. When they come out the other side, they're like, hugging and love on each other. Anyway, so the fight moves to basically Warner Brothers commissary.
I wonder what happened there.
And you have all sorts of gags of who's in the commissary. And then, of course, there's obligatory like pie throwing that happens for no reason at all. So that's breaking out. And, of course, here's Hedy Lamarr. He's sneaking out, looking around. He's going to go into the men's room thinking that he can be clever. He takes a pie to the face. And, of course, then the fight moves outside of Warner Brothers on the lot. He tries to take a cab. So it's such a radical change all the time. It's just crazy. So It's the audio pops. It'll always get you for the audio. No. Oh, crappy did it went down. Yeah. Bummer. All right. Well, we'll keep going. I'll trim it out later, and then we'll go from there. So it'll come right back here in a minute. All right. Well, we were destined to get at least one flag. I mean, if that's the only flag, I'll be thrilled. So you can only play about 5 to 6 seconds. I know, Max. Max is trying to keep me honest or whatever. It's sadness. It'll come back in a second. We've been Ironcaster. We've been through this, haven't we not? It's sad, but you're. Ironcaster, you're muted.
Oh, let's say ultimately, I mean, that's kind of where the movie ends, or where we just go to complete nonsense and we just kind of off Hedley Lamar at the movies.
Yes. Yeah, so he's going to take the cab. He's going to go see the screening of Blazing Saddles at a movie theater. And then, of course, he realizes that they're going to ride after him on horseback. So he sneaks back out. You end up with like a little mini shootout. So, yeah, we'll come right back to it and show it again. I don't care. We're just going to keep going. And we'll assume that this will play itself out at some point. So I will keep the sound off. We'll try a little better. Talk through this last little scene. I mean, the end of the movie doesn't justice to how good the movie is, to be honest. So this is him trying to get into the theater. He makes little gags here and there. Before there's cows in the lobby. Discount? Yeah, student discount. This is them showing up. He realizes that he's caught. He's going to go outside. Mini shootout. And of course, Bart puts him down, and they ends up, you got the good guy. They're going to see the end of their movie. He's going to ride off into the sunset, so to speak. Mongo's all sad and smacks that guy. I'm all saying goodbye. And they kind of ride off into the sunset, which is really funny because they ride off into the sunset, or at least they ride across the plains and they go get it in a limo. Yeah. So that's how it actually ends. So yeah, sorry, folks. I know there was some, stream up and down. That kind of nonsense happens there. Sorry about that, folks. I will see what they allow us to trim and fix there. And if not, we'll figure it out. So, yeah, we do get hit. Yeah, we will get hit at time to time. But we just kind of keep plowing through, my friend. It's okay. It's okay.
Yep.
Let's see. We'll be right back. See, Chris Persia running the promos and commercials. We'll be right back after these important messages. Johnny, play the jingle. Play the jingle. Thank you very much, Mr. Persia.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Oh, me and Ironcaster at the right at the same time, thinking the same thing. That's how you do it.
Yes, closed captions helps. Yes, keep the talking the video. Yeah, I know. End of the movie is at least it was almost like it felt raw. It feels rushed because it doesn't fit the rest of it. Yeah, because the ending a little bit, and then of course the lead scene we talked about. But yeah, they ride off in the limo. It's so much fun. Yeah. I don't know about Porky's. The problem with Porky's is we have these massive segments that I know we cannot show. So it would be I'm way too boomer, so I would have to probably figure out a way to trim around that or something. That would be a little.
It's Kim Cattrall, right? Kim Cattrall.
Kim Cattrall, yeah.
Yeah.
You basically have to go
teacher.
For
Yeah.
You basically have to get like a TV edit of the movie.
Yeah, I almost feel like I'd have to figure something out there. So, but yeah, Lassie. Yes, Dave Bob knows. Yeah. So yeah. What are some of the other thoughts you guys have about this great film?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of recurring jokes you see Mel Brooks do throughout his other films that I want to say might have started here. For example, the Hangman you see in a couple of the other films. I think he's in Robin Hood Men. Yeah, he's in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yep. They do Hangman jokes. Definitely don't get old. Yep.
Doesn't he also play what's his name in Young Frankenstein? Igor. He plays Igor in Young Frankenstein.
I think it's a different actor because that is Marty. Oh, what is his last name? Anyway, it'll come to me in a minute.
So, I mean, the other recurring joke is they're watching the same movie. They're watching a movie at the same time in Spaceballs.
In real time. Spaceballs. Yep. Marty Feldman. Marty Feldman plays Igor. I don't know if is he in this film? I know he's in Silent Movie. Let me see. I'm looking. I'm cheating now. Now I'm actually cheating.
Yeah.
Young Frankenstein. I thought he was in Silent Movie. Their Silent Movie. Yeah, Silent Movie came out after this. Yeah, so he's in a couple of the other movies, but he was not in. He's not in this one. So it's a different actor playing the Hangsman in this one. So, yeah, it is a crazy film. It is a classic among classics. It is one that I am so happy that we were able to spend time paying tribute to. And like I said, we were able to get a normie or two out there to watch it. And that to me is the best reward of anything. If we could do something like this, and someone else can be exposed to it. That's the best.
I tried showing this to a couple of coworkers, and I'm like, here's my Blu-ray copy. Go check this out.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really get it for them, and
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I don't know. I don't know if it was like they just took it and said they watched it, and just said they didn't like it, or if they just generally were like, yeah, I didn't get it.
You know, I didn't even know about Mel Brooks. I was maybe 9 or 10 years old, and we had guests over for the summer. A couple of friends that my parents had in California came down to Texas and hung out for a summer, and they brought their kids, and we sat down and watched Spaceballs. Me and these kids I used to hang out with sat down and watched Spaceballs, and they were like, do you need us to read this to you? And blah, blah, blah. Cause if you read this, you don't need glasses thing at the beginning of Spaceballs and all this funny stuff. So I didn't even know about Mel until I was like 10 years old and I saw Spaceballs, and it'd probably be another 5 or 6 years before I was like, you know what? I want to know about the catalog. I want to know what other movies this guy has done. And I went back and I started watching everything like Blazing Saddles and
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. And there was another one where he's like a corporate executive and he plays a bum. I haven't watched that in probably 20 years. Men in Tights. So yeah,
that was my gateway for Mel Brooks, was Robin Hood Men in Tights, because that was the one I always saw all the time on like Comedy Central. And then of course Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, those hold up the best. History of the World Part 1, which I think was mentioned in chat as well, is just one that I really always enjoyed a lot. I know a lot of folks don't really enjoy it nearly as much as I do. Same thing with like High Anxiety, because it spoofs Hitchcock. That was always fun for me. I really enjoyed that. I'm not a biggest, and one of his biggest things obviously was the musical, the producers and his work on that and stuff like that. So he's just a legend. He really, really is. And just was able to navigate the system to get a film like this and his other works made is really just incredible. It really is. It really is just an incredible filmmaker that I don't think gets mentioned a lot because people don't respect comedy, right, in Hollywood. They just don't. And we see this now. Like, there's nothing funny. This is one of the reasons we decided to do so many comedies in a row. It's like people aren't even laughing. They don't even try to be comedies. My wife and I will sit down and try to pick something to watch, like the voodoo thing you saw, and we'll filter for comedy. The amount of things, like if it has just enough jokes, I guess it counts as a comedy. There's crazy things in there. So it's desperation to put things in the category. So I don't know.
Well, look at what Mel did with Spaceballs. He went to George Lucas and he was like, "Look, I want to do a spoof of Star Wars." And George said, "That's fine. Here are the rules. Don't call your character Han Solo. Don't call your character Darth Vader. Don't call your character Luke Skywalker, and don't make them look exactly like, and by all means, go ahead and do whatever you want." People today aren't like that. They'd be like, "No, you're not getting anywhere near my thing. How dare you want to do anything?" And they just shut them down.
They can't take a joke.
Wasn't one of the stipulations was that he couldn't make the Han Solo stand-in wearing the same clothing?
Yes, that was one of the, you can't make the Han Solo character look like Han Solo. Yeah. So he did like a Luke and Han mix with Lone Star, Lone Star beer, another thing. I thought that was all. I was like, oh, like Lone Star beer. He's the beer guy.
Dean Kranz mentions also another great classic is Monty Python's Holy Grail.
Yes.
Yep. I think the issue that is nowadays, everything has to be like kind of this mashup of everything. So you're not just getting a straight action movie. It's like, oh, we got to make sure we have plenty of quippy dialogue in there. We got to make sure we can kind of mix all the things together. You don't get a straight comedy. I mean, I'm pretty sure as it stands, every single Marvel movie gets checked off as a comedy, even though they're superhero films.
Dave Bob.
Well, look at Seth MacFarlane's A Million Ways to Die in the West. That is a straight Western comedy. It is a cowboy comedy, as close to Blazing Saddles as you're going to get. And they hit the fourth wall a bunch in that movie, you know. But it's you know, I'm not like, oh my God, Seth MacFarlane, but there's a reason why I have that Take Your Hat Off, Boy, It's a Dollar Bill, because that movie's effing hilarious, and people don't make movies like that anymore.
No, and this is it right here. Nail on the head right here. People just get too offended by everything. Everything is offensive. Everything is offensive.
Yep. Every single one of these like groups they go to test these things on, you know, they might find it funny, but they're so afraid that one person, all it takes is one person to say, I didn't like that, and then no, we can't do that. We can't defend anyone.
Yeah.
Or worse yet, there's only approved people that are allowed to be mocked.
Yeah, we just can't continue to go this way. You just can't, and something's going to break out, and basically tell them all to just go pound sand, and it'll make so much money because, you know, everybody's sensitivities and little feelings are going to be trampled on, and hopefully the filmmaker just won't care. They'll be like, all right, man, whatever, we're not going to deal with it. So,
hey, Pops, did you hear what happened Sunday?
Okay, we'll give you something more to go on because the odds are probably
it was a big thing for out west. It was a big, huge thing that no one's talking about. Absolutely big thing no one's talking about.
Okay.
The Emmys happened Sunday. Can you believe that shit? The Emmys happened over the weekend, and nobody gives a shit. No one cares. They're all smelling their own flatulence in a room clapping. Oh my God, brilliant, darling. And no one gives a shit.
I haven't watched an award. Yeah, it is like first. So Arcane won an Emmy this weekend. Boy, it must stink to win an Emmy right now because nobody cares. No one's been paying attention to any of this.
Well, I think what's surprising is it, like, not even like social media, like nothing trended on Twitter over it.
Nothing.
No, they live in their own little screwed up universe now.
Yeah, I'm actually even shocked that usually something like that will trend on Twitter. Like Twitter will be paid to do it. Let's just be honest. We all know it's happening, right? So, yeah, this was crazy. No, there's no. Yeah, I got nothing. And there's barely anything in the news feed. Like it's literally like just a couple of stories. It's mostly about Arcane, by the way. Because I guess that's Netflix's big thing. Like
Soul Assassin. I heard about the Chris Pine spit. That's the only reason why I even know that Emmys happened is some dude spit on Chris Pine.
Oh, was that the story? Was this that was at the Emmys? Oh,
because I had heard that mentioned that something about someone spitting in someone's face, but
yeah.
Like beyond that, I didn't even know it was at like a specific award show, let alone the Emmys.
They're starting to eat each other. They can't eat all of us because you know what? No one gives a shit about them anymore. So they're starting to eat each other.
And
Max is like, look at Max. Max like I haven't watched anything since Return of the King. Most of us gave up. Yeah, I have to be honest. For me, it was Dark Knight because I was actually I was really knee deep in the critics and stuff during that time frame, and everyone gave this movie, you know, either the 4-star or the 5-star, depending on whatever their highest score was, and it was a superhero movie. And I thought to myself, this is going to be a real litmus test. And the fact that it was just completely ignored and kind of mocked during Oscar time and only got like a few technical awards, it just showed me it's just a lost cause. They're not interested in doing what they should be doing. And I was like, I'm kind of out. So I haven't watched any of these award shows really after that. So it made me nauseous. Yeah. All of Hollywood makes me nauseous at this point. So
like, I'm more so at a point now where it's really just watching the streaming wars themselves. The coverage of that is my entertainment now. Like I want to see the headlines about about all the internal bickering and stuff and struggles as people are trying to compete for, keeping their project still greenlit. It's like they're not making they're not making actual shows that will entertain me. So them burning down the house is going to entertain me.
Well, and that right there, brother, that is why Paramount pulled all the Star Trek off of everything else, and it's all in-house now at Paramount. Everybody's trying desperately to go, we're the only ones that have this if you want to watch it, and trying to make that stick. That's why Amazon's going balls to the walls with $1 billion boondoggle. It's why HBO is being successful right now, going, yeah, we spent a quarter of that, Amazon. We spent a quarter of what you spent on your project on this one, and we're kicking ass and taking names. Suck it, Blue. Yeah.
I think the only thing I need to get now is I do want to get myself a copy of DS9 on like DVD or Blu-ray if they can ever get around to doing the remasters.
So I have heard you're looking at end of this year, beginning of next year, when they will be releasing the Blu-ray. I've got the DVDs, and I've got, like, dude, the original DVD sets that came in the 7-season package. They've got the flimsy, like, almost like plastic slip covers. I've got the OG. I've had my OG forever. I will never get rid of that. But I want Blu-ray. I want the remastered Blu-ray. Supposedly, they've been working on it for the last year and a half. It's been a year and a half they've been working on it.
It was like during all the COVID lockdown stuff was where I finally got around to watching DS9. I loved it. It's my favorite of the Star Trek series now. Though I still do need to watch Voyager. And then I wound up watching Babylon 5 after that to kind of compare the two. And I like Babylon 5 a little bit better.
Dean brings up something interesting. It's because of the slap. They're not interested in doing these award things or giving it the attention like before. Like they're just not. It's more like keeping it vanilla. They don't want to get caught up in the negativity or whatever, things like that. You think there's a lot of validity to that? I can see it to a certain extent.
Did you hear Chris Rock go off in that statement? Because he just dropped his statement. Chris Rock it's like damn. I'm not surprised. He just let it out and was like, yeah, he told Will what he could go do with himself. You don't do that. And there were a lot of people we didn't know. Was this staged? The way Chris had his hands, he stood ground, he leaned into it a little bit. And apparently that was all just him. Well, this is what I've been told, and was all muscle memory and reaction to being hit, before in film. So he knew how to take the hit. But that's crazy shit. Crazy crap.
He is crazy because I guess he was he was talking about it. He says, F your hostage video, alluding to Will Smith's apology. And he goes, yeah, it hurt. He goes, yes, that S-bomb hurt. He goes, he played Ali. I can't even play Floyd Mayweather. Oh, yeah, that was good. That's good. He says returning to the Oscars would be like returning to a scene of a crime. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. That's great. You know what? You're right. I mean, I think it's great to finally see like the snake's head's got to come around, eat the snake tail. Like it has to just continue to spiral in this general direction. And like a few of us have a little bit of hope and little things here and there. We've dissected this ad nauseum, right? I have more faith in Tom Cruise than I do Paramount, right? I have faith in this piece, but I don't have faith. Let's just be honest. It's got a lot of sifting and filtering to do. But yeah, for them to think that this is just going to continue to print money and stuff like it did for so long and whatever, no. Well, look at all the crap they've got with it going with Ezra Miller, right? Then look at all the people that are coming into development shows like Lord of the Rings, shows like Dragon, House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon has one big star, and it is Matt Smith. And Matt Smith is killing it on House of the Dragon. Who does Lord of the Rings have? They have no one. Yeah, they have absolutely no one. And it's sinking. It's completely sinking. You got Morford Clark out there calling people is, obes, Yahtzees.
she has been in a couple of things and she wasn't bad at all. And then you see her in this and you're like, what in the hell did they do to this actress? No one has got the star power. What Jennifer Lawrence is gonna bitch and she didn't get paid as much as some other male guy or blah 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 blah. She's gonna go out and complain about how much she got paid and the fact that the X-Men don't need to be named the X-Men anymore. Screw her. Yeah. No one cares. She did her last movie like 10 years ago. No one gives a shit. No one gives a crap about any of these people. And then Tom Cruise, like you said, comes along and said, no, we're going to make a badass movie. And he's the one that's like, if you F up this movie, I will fucking end you. I will effing end you. Sorry for the F-bomb. Because you messed up this movie. This movie's getting people paid. This movie's going to be a payday. We want this movie to be good. We want to give the people good entertainment. Get them back in the theaters. Don't F this up. And I can't argue with that.
No, I agree.
No way. I don't care how crazy Scientology, bullcrap, whatever. When Tom Cruise is saying, we're going to do this, people are going to get back in theaters, and we're going to run this like it should be run, I can't argue with it. I don't care what.
He opens it by thanking you. Thank you for being here, Loki. Thank you for being here, Ironcaster.
So just to really kind of stick it home, what was that news that just came out from this past weekend about how well Top Gun Maverick is now?
Yeah.
It is the 5th best grossing movie in stateside of all time now. It just beat Black Panther.
I was just telling somebody today. I said, yeah, it's on digital. I said, but I'm pretty sure it's still in the top 10 at the box office. People are still wanting to go see it in a theater.
Imagine, because someone just brought up Leonardo DiCaprio and this whole thing with Jennifer Lawrence. Imagine Leonardo DiCaprio. You're in a movie, you're sitting down, and imagine Leo DiCaprio going, I know things have been tough, everybody, but I want to thank you for coming to my movie. You guys coming to this movie and seeing this movie, it is rewarding just not for me, but for the people that built this movie, who made it from the ground up, the set designers, the stage actors, the writers, the direct. Thank you so much. I hope you have a kick-ass time watching this movie. Those kind of people are dying out. They're not using them as much as they should anymore. And they're paying nobodies who act like they have the biggest stick up their ass and that they deserve something. They deserve recognition. The same recognition as people like Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Cruise, who are movie stars. These are the last movie stars, because all the rest of them think they are entitled to something and that you should just be on your knees thanking them for watching their movie. They can kiss my fat white ass. I don't care anymore. I will go see it.
Do you guys know what's number 1 of the box office this weekend? I haven't seen this headline anywhere.
Wasn't it Spider-Man?
Top Gun Maverick was number 1. It crossed 700 million domestic. Spider-Man No Way Home release is number 3. And Jaws, the anniversary screening they did for Jaws, was number 8. It made over $3 million.
Wrath of Khan dropped too this weekend.
I didn't see Wrath of Khan on this list though for the box office. They may not have reported yet.
No, I guarantee you they didn't, because nobody even knew it was showing this weekend.
I found out. I remembered it was the 4th, and that's when I checked my phone. I'm like, oh crap! I got plans all day.
We had tickets. We had tickets, and there's been a bunch of crap that happened this weekend for us. And but we had tickets. We were supposed to go. We didn't go. And I'm very upset we didn't go. But I'm gonna watch it with my Valhalla family in October. We're gonna watch it on a big screen in a conference room at the Hilton, and we're gonna have a good time. So that, to me, I was like, you know what? Okay, I can kind of forgive myself for not being able to go see it, because we're gonna watch it in October with everybody.
It's true. Very, very true.
What's surprising me is just the amount of times I've seen Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan get re-released in theaters in the last 4 or 5 years. Because this is about 2 or 3 times a year it gets re-released in theaters right now.
Still demand. Everybody wants to go see it. I want to go see it.
They had an anniversary not too long ago. They came out with the 4K, and then this was the 4K director's cut.
Yeah.
So this was the 4K director's cut release, where you get more dialogue with Kirk and the ensigns and all of that, and more with Scotty and his nephew. I think it's his nephew. And I always loved that. I always loved that when they got to talk more, and Scotty and his nephew and Kirk got a little more interaction, and that's when he like goes up the elevator thing, and he's like, "The word is given," and they go to yeah. I love fucking Star Trek. Old Star Trek.
Let's hit some of the chat too. Go ahead, Ironcaster.
I just out of curiosity went to go check my local theater to see what's playing this weekend. Star Trek 4.
The Voyage Home.
So Soul Assassin says that House of Dragon has a much smaller budget than Ranks and looks amazing. Now, I haven't watched it all yet, but that seems to be the consensus that everybody says. Loki, you definitely agree, right?
Dude, Matt, if you haven't seen, I'm not going to ruin anything.
I haven't watched anything. I watched any of them. Today's the day I might be able to watch them because I have to run them on a Wi-Fi. It chews up way too much of my data.
Episode 3, I renamed. It for the people over at HBO Max, and I've called it Madman with the Dragon, the 11th Targaryen, because you've got the 11th Doctor in Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor, who they called Madman with a Box. They called him the Madman with a Box because of the TARDIS. Mm-hmm. He is a madman with a dragon. I was so like, dude, this is what we all wanted to see. This is what we want. Burn everything, blood and fire. Yes, give it to us. And they did. Oh, they did.
I've been meaning to sit down and watch it. I just haven't had a chance to yet. But from what I'm seeing from some of the stills of it, Matt Smith should be playing like Elric and Melbourne.
Yes, absolutely. The dragon armor, everything, dude, everything. And I want to tell you something. We're talking production budget here. Everyone on HBO's House of the Dragon looks like they belong in that time period. The clothing, the armor, and I'm not just talking about Matt Smith's armor, because Matt Smith's armor is like a 10. The Kingsguard, I would give all of them like a 9 out of 10 in the armor. The armor is beautiful, guys. The armor is absolutely beautiful. The weapons are awesome. Everything looks great. You switch over to Amazon Wangs of Power, and it literally looks like rubber armor that the special effects assets haven't loaded onto yet. So if you're a video gamer and you're like, dude, why does my character look all rubbery, man? And then boom, the assets pop in and all the detail happens. That's what it looks like. Like the assets for the armor haven't popped in yet. And it looks like gray rubber on their bodies. It looks
all the fabric stuff looks like drapes and knockoff clothing. This is the reason why I didn't rush out to get it. I'm a normie in both these two arenas. I'm not a big fan in reading the books or whatever. So, I mean, I've read Tolkien and Hobbit way back in the day, but I'm not like you guys where you're into all of this. So for me, I'm like, I'm not bringing anything to the table, so I haven't prioritized it. But I was going to catch up on House of Dragon.
I'm a normie when it comes to House of Dragon, brother. Yeah. I'm a normie. I never read the books. All my stuff's Lord of the Rings, man. Yeah. I've read all the books. I've looked at all the lore. I've got lore books, armor books, weapon books. I've got stacks of Lord of the Rings stuff here, dude. And I'm the one I've got a map of Middle Earth in the room I am sitting in right now. I have a huge map of Middle Earth on my wall. And I'm the one going, House of Dragons kicking the shit out of Amazon.
Criminal, man.
And I haven't read one Game of Thrones or House of Dragon book. I've just seen the original series and this.
What I find interesting though is it really sounds like, and again, I haven't watched the new show. I wound up dipping out of Game of Thrones after the last season, or before the last season. Really, basically, I watched the first episode of the last season, and I just kind of ducked out before it got really bad. By all accounts, though, it sounds like they've managed to redeem the shipwreck that had been that last season.
Well, the first episode you watch, you're going to get a men are evil. Mm-hmm. You are going to get that. You're going to get that. It's like so in your face. It's crazy. Every man from the king, Otto Hightower to Daemon Targaryen, Matt Smith's character, they're all evil. Men are evil, and even I think her aunt. That's the episode where she's like, "If we were in charge, things would be so bad." Blah blah blah. Men. But after that one episode in the beginning, it has done nothing but impress. And there's some I mean, in your face stuff in that first episode. but it has done nothing but impress and gotten better since that first episode. So I can't wait to see where it goes. I can't.
Well, then
And whereas Lord of the Rings, I'm like, do I even want to continue to cover Lord of the Rings? It got a 1 from me. It got a 1 point. And that was for Durin's wife, the Black Dwarf, because of how awesome she was. Like, ooh, baby, Elrond, come here, Elrond. She walks up to Elrond, gives him a big hug, and he's like, ooh, you staying for dinner? And her husband's like, no, he ain't staying for dinner. And she goes, ooh, you shut up. Come on, Elrond. We're going to get some chitlins and some watermelon and some pig's feet. Ooh, we're going to have dinner. And you're like, oh my God, I love this chick.
What the heck are we watching? What the heck are we, like the Amazon Lord of the Rings with Jeffersons on us? I'm like, what is happening? She's like Weezy over there going, you shut your pie hole.
You coming to dinner, darling. And I was just like, oh my God, I love her. She's precious. The character, the actress can take a short walk off a long walk off a short pier. But the character
that acts is interesting. Yeah.
I liked that. Okay, so Mama Dwarf is like, ooh, baby, you come on with me. We going to get dinner. And I'm just like, dang, all right, that's charming. I smile when I think about it. Everything else is a 0. Everything else is so horribly bad. From costuming, acting, music, you're not going to get the music you want. If you thought you were going to get the music, no, there ain't no da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Well,
but it's from people you would think would give you good music. Bear McCreary, one of the greatest sci-fi sound directors of all time that gave you Battlestar Galactica, is giving you just an emotionless score, just a general. This could be in any video game, any fantasy video game, and it's not memorable.
Okay, well, you're not helping the case for me spending my time on that. So when I have plenty of crappy movies to review, which are way ahead of the scales, that's what I'll be doing after this. I'll be taking a break.
I can find us more shark movies to watch.
Listen, I just finished the 9th film in evidently the Sniper franchise. I did not know there were 9 films, and that was sent to me to review. It's terrible. I got through a movie
That's
called
like The Substitute. That's like The Substitute. You don't want to watch The Substitute. After the first one, give up. Wave off.
Anyway, let's go back to chat. Chris Persia, they brought up Jennifer Lawrence and says, complained that she's paid as much as Leo. Sorry, ain't no DiCaprio. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Well, she won a couple of awards, so she thinks she is. Remember, she's the one that fell down the steps or whatever when she got one of her awards or whatever. She's all full of herself. Mags is still going pro Tom Cruise here. Good to y'all see his video on the airplane. Such a boss. Amen, sister. He sure is. Tabletop Junkie popped in here. Good to see. Give respect, get respect. That's Tom Cruise, I'm assuming. And Dave Bob saying not only number 1 at the box office, number 1 in streaming. Yeah, Top Gun is got to make. I can just see the other executives just sitting there with their hands like, oh my gosh, because that's all they got to be hearing from investors and board members and things like that. So, let's see. I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones before watching House of Dragons. Okay, all right. I actually didn't watch Game of Thrones in real time. I binged it during this 2-year whatever nonsense. So I went through like 3 weeks of my life watching Game of Thrones, and most people were asking me about it. And I said, all I kept saying was, "Well, I'm glad I didn't waste as much time of my life that you guys did."
Pops, believe it or not, I did the same thing you did. It was Gary over at Nerdrotic and Doomcock that convinced me 6 months before the last season aired to go and get the Blu-rays. And I watched it twice. I was so into it, I watched it twice, and I was getting a very bad feeling there at the end. Like, what's going on? It was almost like a complete tonal shift of, well, they went from having this grand idea to, well, we really don't know what we're doing. And that's what the last season left us with. So like you, I got into it late. I did. Yeah, I waved off.
Well, I watched season 1, 2, and 3. And it got super, super high for me. And then at season 4 is when it really dropped off. And then 5, 6, and 7. And then 8 of course, is like a cliff. But there are always good moments. It's always make you think, oh, we're getting there. We're getting back to something good. We're getting to, and it's just like for me, and when you put it with the timeline, with the Me Too timeline, you start to see, oh, this is why we gave up on this storyline, why we gave up on that storyline, why we had Arya become a Mary Sue. You see all these pieces of its downfall. So even with House of Dragon being announced, I wasn't as gung-ho. But now everybody's saying, and I will catch up eventually. So go ahead, Ironcaster.
I had just kind of happenstanced right into watching the first episode of Game of Thrones, where at the time I think I was watching True Blood, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should just go ahead and jump into whatever show is not going to be on tonight and check this out. And I turned on the TV, and we now present, or it was something like, we now present to you Game of Thrones. I'm like, okay, we got this cool sword and sorcery show. I'm like, I don't know what to expect out of this. I know nothing about this property. Maybe this will be good. And it just so happened to be like one of the biggest phenomenons of television for a while.
I was I've been honest about my not a big fan of the sex and nudity and debauchery as much as everyone else is all gung-ho about it. So I was like, and even when I watched it, there was a lot of little fast forwarding, the 10-second, 15-second advance on my phone. Then once you got to like season 7, there were like huge sequences where it was so dark I couldn't even see what was going on. It was terribly. Soul says, I'm a normie too. He said, when it comes to Star Wars. All right. So Dave Bob's referring to Jiggly Bits being cut off.
Yes, that happens.
Soul substitute 1, and that is all. Yeah, I know. Listen, I was asked to review this movie. It's like, so yeah. All right, Low Specs Linux is also here. So yeah, I have some crappy movie reviews to do because actually they've all been bad before I do another Indian film. So it's like I try to pick 2022 movies. I try to find different things. I'm trying to give them all a fair shake, and they all suck bad.
I just kind of happen to see at my local theater it looks like another Indian film is going to be playing this weekend. Brahmastra.
Yeah, Brahmastra. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I don't know much about that one. So yeah, I'm a noob. I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert and know. I don't know the actors and directors well enough to know. Because there's the one, and then there's his previous films, and then there's a couple others that are on that kind of caliber. Then there's like the Oscar one, which is kind of like the dark, heady biopic one, which is not for everybody. But all I'm saying, man, even their bad ones are better than most of this other crap. Like I'm getting ready to review what I have to review. I have to review Vendetta, Me Too, no, Me Time, Me Too. I didn't admit that. That was a Freudian slip. Me Time, Vendetta, and Sniper Rogue Mission something, whatever. Just bad is what it was. Just bad. Those 3 movies are just diarrhea, like just awful. What a waste of time. Completely different kind of problem than the Shark Side of the Moon, just to be perfectly honest. So, see, Dave, Bob, and I will have to disagree about Samaritan. It was like so clearly what the twist was going to be for me early on that even my review kind of spoiled it. Didn't really care for the film that much. So, anyway, well, guys, I know I will have a copyright strike to look forward to with Blazing Saddles. We'll see what that looks like. We'll see if I can salvage that easily. I don't know. And but we got through most of it relatively unscathed. I thought some of the worst stuff we got through early on was where we were going to have our problems. So most of it made it. Now we'll see what happens. So, but next week we have Loki's favorite, Big Trouble in Little China. That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You leave Jack Burton alone. Yeah.
By the way, have you ever seen the? Oh, look at that. That's
the Steelbook.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Boom Studios comics where they have Snake and Jack on the cover?
I've seen the covers.
Yeah.
I need to go check those out.
There's some really cool covers, and you can get like nice, especially if you want them just for decoration. Because obviously the comic books themselves aren't going to be worth anything or whatever. So you want a really cool one because I know you're into that. You're into Kurt Russell stuff, guys. I'm telling you can get a 9.8 graded slabbed one for less than $100. Yeah, they're out there. Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
They're beautiful. You can get like a virgin cover, so it doesn't even have the logo. It's just a pure art. They're beautiful. They're really cool. They also do you're into the King Kong. Boom Studios has the same kind of thing. These beautiful King Kong cover ones where they did new Kong comics and things like that. I haven't read them. Not going to speak for if they're even decent comic books to read. Just they're cool to look at. That's for sure.
I think they did a crossover of King Kong and Planet of the Apes.
Huh. All right. That wouldn't surprise me. They're sort of like that new Boom did that the licensing phase where they got all these licenses and they're doing different things like that. Marvel had done that back in the day, so it's really good. Abomination AJ. All right. I've seen Me Time. Well, Abomination AJ, let's see what you have to say because did not enjoy that. So anyway, well, my friends, what a fun time as always. Just hanging out, having a good time. Loki, comic book roundtable tomorrow.
Yep, and it's on the Reflexes.
It's all in the Reflexes?
Yeah, we're going to do comic book roundtable tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hopefully, I don't know if you want me to say anything or not.
I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to try to make it.
We're going to try to make it. So I know Clobber's going to get some guests. I do not know if 24/7 Fusion will make it or not. Right. He is moving. He has had a horrible time moving, guys. He has had such a difficult time getting moved. His gas, literally there's gas leak at the place where he's living and no hot water, and he's just like, screw it, I'll cook it on the electric stove. And I'm like, dude, that's still not just a warm up water on the stove. And yeah, so doesn't have any hot water still.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
He's had such a difficult time getting moved, guys. So hopefully he will be there tomorrow. If he's not, he will be on soon. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy.
And Thursday you'll be with Dr. Adega.
Dr. Adega Outlaw.
Yeah, Friday night, late night. So the busy week for the Mischief Master.
And some running in between. There's some stuff. I can't, there's some stuff I can't talk about right now. But,
sure.
Hopefully soon I'll be able to. But yeah, fun times.
Well, tomorrow night at 5:30, I'm going to do another comic book, just a spontaneous one, try to catch up on this massive stack of stuff next to me, talking about some different things and review some stuff and kind of have that, get that kind of caught up a little bit and kind of go from there. So it's been a lot of stuff. An Ironcaster. Got a lot of stuff going on yourself, my friend. It keeps getting in the way of that stream. But you know what? It's okay. You going to be on Twig this week?
Yep. Yeah, on the Weekend Geek on Saturday. On Fridays, we'll be doing the Friday Night Comic Shop Talk.
Yep. Awesome.
I might be making an appearance with a guy on Twitch called Guard Bro tomorrow night.
Okay.
Who's kind of in the realm of tabletop games, and he's written his own book called The Veil Riders.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about getting into some other stuff. I actually haven't even started Wraith of God. That's my thing. I just really cannot tell you how excited I am. Looking forward to this. And he's already announced this.
I like to look at the character on that cover.
Yeah. He's already announced a sequel, so he's already working on that. That'll be announced in Indiegogo here soon. And yeah, I love it. So, and guys, I guess I'll show. Let's tease. So tomorrow night at 5:30, I will bust it open. So is that an Ollie's? Talked about it earlier. Saw this on the shelf. Yeah, that's an original 1990s X-Men #2 with Magneto. And I picked it up and I looked over to see what's on the other side. Yes, it's a copy #1. I'm like, holy crap, for $5. Yeah, so I'm going to open this up and find out what the other 3 comics are. We'll do that tomorrow too. Why not? So Jim Lee, Chris Claremont. Love it. So, well, guys, listen, thanks, guys, so much. Thanks to you all in chat, especially you, Chris Persia, hanging out there. I know Mags has been here. She's such a blessing to me as well, doing her thing. And man, I tell you what, it's been great hanging out and just paying tribute to just this incredible movie. And next week we do it again. Jack Burton time, man. Jack Burton. Oh, it's the best. It's so much fun. This is what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So, and with that, folks, make tomorrow better than today. Be blessed out there. Remember, you still have to talk hard. And here's a little Bob Ross. Remember to take some time to chill and relax.
Bob Ross. All I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real, Bob Ross. I be too calm for the drama. You don't want to cause a problem. I'll solve it, Bob.